Thought today we would make some hasty pudding, a very common dish for the 18th century, something made with items that even an 18th century soldier would most likely have, something that would be good for breakfast or even for dessert later on. So the first thing we really need is a nice little cooker, either a small cast iron pot or the copper boiler. Perfect item for cooking hasty pudding in. This will make 1 or 2, maybe 3 servings worth in here. What I did was I put a couple of cups of water inside of our copper boiler. We always want to remember to have something in the copper boiler when it's on the fire, or else you'll ruin the lining on the inside. And we're going to bring this to a boil. So our hasty pudding is made with cornmeal. A coarse ground cornmeal is what we're really looking for. If you can find Bob's Red Mill products in your local grocery store, sometimes Bob Red Mill has a very coarse ground cornmeal. That's what you want to look for. Regular cornmeal will work, but it kind of has a smoother consistency. This looks a little more 18th century, probably a little more typical of what that grind would have looked like. What we have here with our 2 cups of water is about a half a cup of the cornmeal. And what we want to do, as soon as we've got a rolling boil in our water, so we want to very slowly add our cornmeal a little bit at a time, add it in about a quarter of the material at a time, and then let your water come back to a boil, and then you can stir a little bit more in. You want to make sure it's boiling the whole time, and you want to make sure you keep stirring it. If you don't keep stirring it, it'll just stick to the bottom and make a gooey mess, or it'll clump up. After we get all of our cornmeal stirred in, we just leave it on a slow boil here. We want to keep stirring it, and it's going to take, I don't know, somewhere between 15 minutes and a half hour to get this all settled down and cooked up right. You'll know when it really starts to turn into a thick paste that you've gotten to the right consistency. So just keep it stirred, keep it on the fire, and keep watching it. We want to keep the heat going underneath this stuff. We want to keep it bubbling. As it thickens up, it will continue to bubble even though the temperature comes down a little bit. That's all right. Just keep cooking it. It's starting to thicken up already, but keep at it. It's going to take a while, at least 15 minutes, probably more like 20 or 30. This looks really good. It's really thickened up, and I think we're there. It has been about 20 minutes or so. So let's get this off the fire. We'll set it down, let it cool off a little bit, and then we can get it ready for eating. Our next step is a little bit of seasoning. Soldiers or other travelers in the 18th century might not have been fortunate enough to have anything else to put on their hasty pudding, nothing but the water and the cornmeal. Sometimes that would be enough. If they had anything else, definitely, if you've got one of these pocket spice kits, a little bit of salt, which will definitely bring out the flavor. If you got a chance in the pocket spice kit, there's also a little bit of cinnamon. That will certainly help. And sweetening is the last thing. If you've got sugar, sugar is great. Another very common sweetener in the 18th century is molasses. I've got some Barbados molasses here, which is the first squeezings. Not quite so nasty a tasting as the blackstrap. Great if you can get it for this kind of a thing. If you don't have sugar, or it's a bit more of a 18th century style thing. Sugar in the 18th century was a highly taxed thing, but molasses wasn't. So it was much more common as a sweetener in the colonies than it was in, say, England. So in this we've got our corn and we've got our molasses. This is going to be a great breakfast. Now's the moment of truth. Let's find out what our hasty pudding turned out like. Wow, that is actually very good. I think I'd eat this for breakfast. Try it. It's good for you.
Come on, Aaron, try it.
It tastes like oatmeal.
All right, I gotta try it here.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
I'll
a
eat it
lot.
all.
Kind of like fat oatmeal. Yellow oatmeal.
Corn oatmeal.